I know what you're thinking. This looks like a pile of wood and not a 1967 Mustang. One of the things I realized pretty quickly is I've got some large projects. As you can tell, this is taking up quite a bit of room. Now, what I could have done is parked the Mustang and done all of this woodwork on that half of the garage, moved the daily drivers out of the way, and used that section. But for a few reasons, it kind of made sense to just set up here, keep everything set up, and I can, work and come and go and not have to worry about cleaning it up, pulling the cars in, etc. But let me introduce you to this project and I'll show you the space. So the idea is there's a room that's not really big enough for a bedroom. It's just kind of on the main level, and we're going to turn it into a little home office. I'm not a carpenter, as you are going to find out. And we did talk with some professionals about what it would cost to do this. We decided to go the built-in route, and I'll show you the space. But one of the things that we can't get built in that we really wanted was kind of like a corner, like small closet concept. Now, I've built things of this nature before, so I was pretty confident I could do it, and at a fraction of a price of contracting someone else out to do it, especially with the prefab doors and everything. So it's a relatively simple structure. That being said, it's going to be almost floor to ceiling and made of mostly 3/4 MDF is what I'm using. One of the things I did figure out is did a little mental math on the dimensions and realized all told this is going to be a little heavy, 332 pounds, which in kilograms is too heavy for me to carry inside. So I think what I'm going to do is cut all the main pieces of wood, get everything squared away and ready to assemble, do the painting or at least the priming in here, and assemble it inside. And at all the joints, I'm doing just a simple rabbet and dado joint, and that should give it plenty of strength. The shelves that are going to be in there are going to be built in, also with a dado, and that's going to wind up being really stout and strong. Probably overkill, but if you know me. But first things first, I'm going to cut all the major pieces, the top, the bottom, the two back sides, and the two front sides, if you will. So I absolutely love working with MDF, especially if it's something I'm going to paint. The boards are always perfectly straight, exact, true to size, consistent grain, so it cuts smoothly and beautifully and works great on a router. The downsides are it has zero moisture resistance, so don't use it somewhere it's going to get wet. When you work it, it turns into saw powder instead of sawdust and gets everywhere. So I'm using a respirator with dust masks on there. You don't necessarily want to breathe this in. And yeah, my cars are absolutely covered in dust now. So I'm not using anything too specialized to do basically all of this project. I have a very old Craftsman circular saw that I inherited. I actually have a newer one that is not nearly as precise. This thing is still going strong, although it looks like the blade could use an upgrade. I have no idea what year this thing was made. It is, just to give you some clue, it still says Sears on it, and I'm pretty sure they stopped selling actual Craftsman tools a while ago. But I inherited this, someone gave it to me. And then I have probably a 20-year-old old, really inexpensive table saw that is maybe on its last legs. I already replaced the switch, and it kind of skips every once in a while. And for all my dados, if I were doing more of this, I might actually get a dado blade, but then I don't know if this table saw could handle hogging out that much wood. So I'm just using the table saw to make a few cuts, and then I don't know if you can see on the time lapse, but I went around with a little chisel and just kind of cleaned out the rest. Again, we're not talking about precision here. It's all going to be painted. If it's a little loosey-goosey. It's going to be glued up and painted, and I'm not worried about getting it down to the micron. Okay, now that I've got the big pieces cut, or at least roughed in, I want to cut these sections for the shelves. I think I spaced them out 12 inches. We've got these nice banker boxes that we're just building the shelves around, so we can have lots of storage there. But I think I counted 5 is what I'm going to put in there, and yeah, 18-inch shelf by this weird number that is, you know, designed just for the width of this. So I'm going to see what I've got, you know, left for wood over here, and then left over after cutting all the big pieces, and see if I can rough something out. So one thing that's really been slowing me down, back when I was working on removing the old pegboard and cabinets from this garage to set it up, I was clipping along just fine, and then going down a ladder, I actually had extremely sharp knee pain, and it's been bugging me on and off. I actually went to go see someone. It's nothing, thankfully, too critical, but I've been needing to rehab and kind of work myself back into things. That's going well, but man, it really just kind of put a damper on things, and so the project was on pause for a long time, and I'm just now getting to the point where I can get back into the garage and start working on stuff again. So yeah, I know if anyone who's holding their breath waiting for this Mustang, well, I'm with you too. So am I. I want it back. I want to be welding instead of sawing. In addition to that, I've got someone close to me who had some medical things come up that I've been trying to support them with. So, you know, life is what it is. You got to take care of yourselves, take care of those around you, and we'll get the Mustang back soon. Okay, I finally got all the big pieces roughed in. I've got my 5 shelves here, my 2 back sides, the longer parts. The top part, the base is in the office, kind of getting staged up, and my 2 front sides here. I'm pretty happy with the little amount or the low amount of scrap that we have from those boards. Got some lengths, and these are probably going to be used for trim pieces and a couple other small pieces, so not too bad. Okay, next video I plan to start assembling all these parts, probably bring everything into the office and start setting it up. Okay, if you are still with me, I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching me fumble through some woodworking, a little something different, and we'll have that Mustang back soon.